your natural breath, whatever that is. Knees wide, toes together, sink your hips, bring your arms out long in front of you. Your elbows can be on the mat, so it can be a passive pose. Your forehead is on the mat, and rock your forehead from left to right to give your head a little massage. And just notice your body, notice your breath, just your natural breath. How are you feeling? My lower back is a little sore because I'm shifting things around and picking up really heavy things and forgetting to bend at my knees and lifting things in the wrong way. Yeah, my back's a little sore. We just breathe into it and sink our hips. And you can do that by pressing your hands into the mat and pushing back. So your hips are sinking down into your heels. And start your ujjayi breathing. Constrict the back of your throat and breathe in and out through your nose. And as you do this, start to count your breath. So you're breathing in and out with the same number of counts. And when you breathe out, constrict your abdominal muscles, draw your belly up and back. So you can begin to feel how it feels to bring some strength to your abdominal area. And think about an intention for this practice. It can be breath, joy, strength, ease, whatever it is, just a thought that you can return to and maybe that will carry you through your day. And on your next inhale, come up to hands and knees, tabletop position. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Your knees are right underneath your hips. Your toes are flat on your mat. And look up for cow. Drop your belly. Exhale into cat, rounding your back, bringing your chin to chest. Look up for cow. Inhale. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Now come around and come to a comfortable seated position. Maybe it's cross legs, or maybe it's hero pose. Hero pose is where you're on your knees and you sink back. You can put a block right underneath your sit bones and sit on that. Just whatever comfortable seated position, hands on knees. We're gonna roll out our neck because I'm feeling a lot of tension in my neck. So begin by bringing your chin to your chest. Now look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Sit up tall and look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Look up. One more time. Exhale, chin to chest. And look up at the ceiling. Now bring your left ear to your left shoulder, not shoulder to ear, ear to shoulder, because your shoulders are dropping down your back. Right ear, right shoulder. Again, left ear, left shoulder. Right ear, right shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. And one more time, right ear, right shoulder. Now we're gonna bring it all together. We're gonna roll around, chin to chest, left ear, left shoulder, look up. Exhale as you come around and really exaggerate this rolling out of your neck. Breathe in as you go back and exhale as you come around. Keep your shoulders down. Roll around, and when you come down, when your chin next time hits your chest, go the opposite direction. Big breaths. And one more time, roll it out again. Good. Come up to a neutral spine. Draw your shoulders up to your ears and roll them down your back. And now roll them forward, up and back. Really exaggerating, like your shoulders are a big wheel. Roll it back. And roll, now go in the opposite direction, rolling. Good, roll some more. And really bring those shoulders down and around. Now sink your shoulders down. Plug your shoulders into their shoulder sockets. Extend your hands out long in front of you, like you're stopping somebody, and open and close your fingers 30 times fast. Really stretching those fingers out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Bring your hands down on the mat, fingers facing the front of the room or the wall, whichever you're facing. Now bring your fingers so they're facing one another. Stretching out our wrists, lean into this. Now face your fingers to your knees and stretch into that. Good. Bring your hands together in front of you. Clasp your fingers around and now twist, reverse them out. Bring your fingers up over your head. Breathe here. Good. Breathe, breathe. And place your left hand down on the mat right alongside your left hip. Right arm is extended up and draw it up overhead, hinging at the waist for a big side body stretch. Your left elbow can be bending. Breathe into this. And now bring both hands up. Look up, spark your fingers up. Bring your right hand down right along your right hip and hinge over at your waist with your left arm coming. Your tricep is almost touching your left ear. Breathe here. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out and bring your hands down. Now bring your fingertips out in front of you and stretch out. We're going to fold forward. Do it slowly. Just walk your fingers out. As you breathe in, extend. As you breathe out, hinge forward and fold deeper. Maybe your head can reach the mat. Really stretch out. And slowly walk your hands back up into that seated position and come back to tabletop. So here we are in tabletop. Your pointer finger is right at 12 o'clock. Your hands are wide and strong. When we go into downward facing dog, if you feel it in your wrists, I want you to roll your triceps, kind of like roll them in towards one another. So the eye of your elbow is facing the ceiling. See if that change draws your shoulders in and gives you more support on your wrists, because downward facing dog is asking a lot of our wrists. So here we are in tabletop. Breathe in and out. Let's do another round of cat and cow just to swivel our hips and wake up our hips. Just a few more rounds. I love this. I love cat cow. And I want you to bring your hands out a little bit more, closer to the top of your mat, and tuck your toes And bring your knees up off the mat, just 2 inches. Breathe here. Breathe in and out. One more breath in and out. Now engage your abdominals and draw back to downward facing dog. Make any adjustments that you need to your feet. I had to move my feet a little bit towards the back of my mat and pedal your feet out. This perhaps is your first down dog of the day, maybe your last too. And pedal and pedal. Your ankles, your heels probably aren't going to reach the mat with your first down dog, but maybe as you do a few, you'll find that your heels will begin to get closer to the mat. Come high on your toes, right on tippy toes, ballerina toes. Now swing your toes so they face the left side of your mat and bend into this. So another big side body stretch. Come back high on your toes and now bend your toes so they're facing the right side of your mat. A big side body stretch. Good, come back high on your toes and tiptoe to the top of your mat. Little teeny baby steps. Come up on your fingertips as you get your toes towards the top of the mat. You're on your toes. See if you can lift one hand and put it on your shin. See if you can lift your other hand and put it on your shin. Fingertips on mat. Lower your heels down. Come up to a halfway lift. Fold down completely. The crown of your head is drawing towards the mat. Grasp opposite elbows. This is ragdoll. Make sure your feet are hip width distance apart and that you've got a little bend to your knee. And sway side to side, maybe shaking your head yes and no, but just sway. Allow the weight of your arms to draw the crown of your head a little closer to the mat as you sway, and breathe. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Forward fold, fingertips on mat. Halfway lift. Extend your back long. Now the crown of your head is drawing towards the front of the room. Fold down again. Breathe out. And inhale up to mountain pose. Look up, spark your fingers up. Bring your hands to heart in prayer. We'll begin practice with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Good. Lift your hands up, mountain pose. Up, spark your fingers up. Draw your shoulder blades into your shoulder sockets. So maybe your arms, I don't know, maybe that does a little bit. Maybe your arms sink down a little bit. Look up and fold down. Halfway lift. Your hands can be on your shins or your thighs. See which really works better for you. The point is you're extending your back and the crown of your head is really drawing forward. You're engaging your abdominals in this halfway lift. It's I love this. I love this pose. I mean, it's easy, but for me, it's such a reminder, like when you're, I don't know, cleaning something and you're kind of hunched over, it's like straighten your back. It's like, that feels a lot better. Step back for high plank. Here we are in a high plank. Breathe in, roll forward, lower down just halfway. Your elbows are right over your wrists. Come up to upward facing dog. Your knees can be on the mat. And roll back using your abdominal muscles to downward facing dog and breathe. Breathe in and out. Come up on your toes and sink your heels down. Breathe in, come up high, and exhale and sink. One more time. Inhale high on your toes. As you empty out, bend your knees and walk or jump forward to the top of your mat, half lift. Fold down, breathe out. Inhale to mountain pose. Fold down, breathe out. Half lift, inhale, and step or jump back to high plank. Here we are. Roll forward, halfway down, upward facing, knees can be on the mat. Roll down to downward facing dog and breathe. In and out and pedal. Step your right foot forward for warrior one. So get your foot between your hands. So just do that for a second. So now we're in a lunge position. I'm on my back toes, but your left knee can be down. So we can stay here. I said warrior one, but we're going to start by going into a lunge. So here we are. My hands are really framing my right foot. Draw your right arm up, look at your thumb, and bring it back down. Good. Now, bring your left knee off the mat and come into warrior one. So now you're turning your back left foot and you're slowly making your way up. Look at your alignment. Right knee is over right ankle. Left leg is straight and strong. Look forward, hip bones forward, shoulders forward. Cactus your arms and then draw your triceps around your ears. Rotate your pinkies so they're facing one another. And breathe here and sink into this. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Now open up into warrior two. So we went from lunge to warrior one to warrior two. A little vinyasa. Reverse your warrior, humble your warrior. Look up at your right hand. Your left hand is drawing down your left leg and come into side angle. Lightly place your right forearm on your right thigh. Bring your left arm up overhead. Look at your thumb. Breathe here. Breathe. And now draw that left arm overhead so that now your left tricep is resting almost on your left ear. The crown of your head is coming forward to the front of the room. Your left hand is drawing towards the front of the room. It's a big side body stretch and a big stretch for the psoas muscle that connects your lower back around to the top of your thigh. Can you feel that? I can feel that a lot. Pinwheel your hands down to the mat. Step your right foot back and come into downward facing dog and breathe. Come high on your toes. Exhale and sink your heels. Come high on your toes and sink your heels. Come high on your toes. Now, step your left foot forward between your hands. Frame that foot with your hands. Come high on your right toes. We're in a lunge position. Place your right knee on the mat. Right hand is on the mat. Lift your left hand up and look up at your left thumb. If you like to challenge yourself, you can bring that leg up off the mat, but it's perfectly fine to leave it down. Bring your left hand down alongside your left foot. And now we are going to come up for warrior one on this side. So come up slowly, swing your right foot around, bend your left knee so it's right over your ankle. Swing your hips so that your hip bones are facing the front of the room. Your pelvis is neutral. So you're not popping your booty and you're not Michael Jacksoning either. So just breathe. Your shoulders are right over your hips. Come to cactus arms. And now draw your arms up overhead. And breathe into this and sink. Open up to warrior two. Extend your arms long in opposite directions. Look over your left forefinger. And reverse your warrior. Left hand is now up. You're looking up at your left thumb. Your right hand is going down your right leg. And side angle. Lightly place your left forearm on your left thigh, and look up at your right thumb now. Your hand's going straight up to the ceiling, and now draw your right hand overhead, so it's now drawing towards the front of the room. Your right tricep is right along your right ear, and the crown of your head is also going in the direction of the front of the room. Breathe here. Feel that big psoas stretch. Pinwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back for down dog and breathe. Come high in your toes and sink your heels on the exhale. Come high in your toes and sink your heels. Good. I want you to step your right foot forward again. Come into that lunge position. Your knee can be down. This is called lizard lunge. So now place both of your hands. So my right hand is right on the inside of my right foot. My left hand is right alongside my right hand. So my thumbs could almost touch. So here we are. With your right shoulder, lean into your right knee so that we're doing a hip opener here. And it can just be a slight movement. It doesn't have to be an outrageous movement. And you can even scooch your right foot over so that now it's right at the edge of the mat, but just lean into it. It's a big stretch. It's a good stretch. We spend so much time sitting that our hips get tight. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Good deal. And now move that right foot back and come into that downward facing dog. Do it slowly. You can do it through tabletop if that works better. And breathe. Come high in your toes. Exhale, sink your heels. Come high in your toes. Exhale, sink your heels. Now let's do the same thing on the left side. So draw your left foot forward, come between your hands. I have to actually give my left foot an assist. I have to move it forward with my left hand. Bring your right knee down and shift your left foot over so it's closer to the edge of your mat. Make sure your knee's right over your ankle. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Your right hand is right alongside your left. Your thumbs can be touching. And now lean into your left knee with your left shoulder. It's a small move, but it is, a profound stretch. And breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Good. Bring that left foot back into downward facing dog. And tiptoe your feet forward to the top of your mat. Again, you're on your toes. See if you can do that half lift with both your hands on your chin for a moment. Straighten and then lower down. Good. Sink your heels. Come into a chair pose. So I find using a blocking chair to be great. Place it at the top of your thighs so your knees don't meet in chair. Your feet are typically hip width distance. Your toes can kind of touch, but your feet can be hip width distant. You look down. You don't want your knees over your toes because you're sinking your hips going back. So that's good. So that actually, and my toes often come right up off the mat. So here I am. It's when personally for me, when I have my arms that it becomes challenging. So here we are, and I'm trying to get my back straighter as I bring my arms up overhead and can I still see my toes? It's, for me, super challenging. I'm trying to straighten my back, looking ahead, bringing my triceps around my ears and looking at my toes. Woo, that's a lot. Fold. Now, let's do that one more time. Just come right into whatever your chair is. Bring your hands to your heart and twist right. So here we are, we're looping our left elbow around our right knee. We're trying to stack our shoulders. I'm doing this with a block between my legs, which is kind of challenging. Knees need to be parallel. Draw the crown of your head towards the front of the room and breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Good. Fold down. Half lift. Breathe. Good. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Come back into your chair. Bring your hands to heart and twist left. Hooking your right elbow around your left knee. Drawing the crown of your head forward, stacking your shoulders and sinking. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink and forward fold. Remove the block if you've had one. I need a drink of water. Come into yogi toe lock. So that is where we're bending. It's a forward fold. We're grabbing our toes with our pointer finger and our thumb. Wrap your pointer finger around your big toe and your thumbs on top. Bend your elbows. It's kind of like ragdoll. You're drawing the crown of your head towards the mat. Inhale and sink. Inhale and sink. Inhale and sink. Good, halfway lift. And forward fold. And up to mountain pose. Spark your fingers up. And come into warrior two on the right. So your right toes are forward, your left foot is back. Come right into it, stretching those arms out long. This is our second right side warrior of the day. Reverse your warrior. Look up at your right thumb. Side angle. Place your left forearm on your your right thigh. And just bring your arm right overhead onto the extended version. Good. Breathe. And now come up and point your toes to the left side of your mat like you're pigeon-toed. We're coming into a wide leg forward fold, okay? So here we are. It doesn't really matter how wide your legs are. If some people want to come into a headstand when they do this, so they want to get their legs as wide as possible. But you want to feel the stretch on the inside of your thighs. Sit up tall. And now fold halfway. So drawing your abdominals in, the crown of your head is now really drawing towards the left side of your room. And now place your hands down on the mat right underneath your shoulders. Again, the crown of your head is drawing down. It's a big stretch of the muscles on the inside of your thighs. If I were better at anatomy, I would know the name of those muscles, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, what I like to do is I like to bend my right knee and keep my left leg straight and point my left toes up at the ceiling. And I try to challenge myself. I'm on my right toes. I try to challenge myself to be in a balance. It's challenging. See if you can do it. Bring your hands to heart in prayer. I can do it for like 1 second. Come back up to wide leg forward fold. The crown of your head is drawing to the mat. And see if you can do that stretch on this side. So now you're bending your left knee. I'm kind of on my, not kind of, I am on my left toes. My right toes are flexed towards the ceiling. And I'm trying to sit up tall and bring my hands to heart to prayer. Anyway, here we are. Come back up. Oh, and breathe. Halfway lift. Good. Swing your right foot around and come into warrior two again. Breathe here. Straighten your right leg. We're going into triangle pose. So hinge at the waist. Draw your right hand really actively towards the front of the room as you then bring that hand down onto your shin or a block and bring your left arm up overhead. So we're stacking our shoulders. We're between a pane of glass, two panes of glass. Our bodies are as thin as possible. And breathe here. Breathe. Good. Come back up to warrior two. Step your left foot halfway up the mat, okay? So coming out of warrior two. Your feet are hip width distance apart. We're coming into pyramid pose. So here we are, like this. Bring some bend into your knees. Don't lock your knees out. It's easy to do that in this pose. If you've got a block, bring it to the inside of your right foot on the mid height, like that height. I like to grab it. I like to use this to grab. So this is a pose that we want the weight evenly distributed, our body weight evenly distributed in both feet. So you're not dumping into the front foot, nor are you dumping into the back. It's evenly distributed. And it's a fold. So like all folds, when you inhale, you extend, and when you exhale, you fold deeper. And you're just folding over that front leg and extend and sink. Extend and sink. Now, if you have a block, place it on the top height, right on the inside of your right foot, because we're coming into a twisted triangle. So place your left hand on that block. If you don't have a block, use the floor. And now draw your right arm overhead. And as you do so, you're twisting your body. Look up at your right thumb. The top of your thighs are probably meeting. Breathe and look. Breathe and look. And slowly make your way out of this and come into a downward facing dog. Step your right foot back. And again, pedal your feet. Can your heels reach the floor? Are they getting a little closer? Breathe and reach. Breathe and reach. Now we're going to do warrior two on the other side. So your left foot is coming forward. Your right foot is back. The blade edge of your right foot is really digging into the mat. And we're bending into your front knee and come up into warrior two. Extending your hands in opposite directions and breathing into it. And sink. Breathe and sink. Reverse your warrior, look up at your left thumb and side angle. Just draw your arm up overhead and extend it so that now that right hand is drawing to, in my case, it's now the back of the room because I switched, anyway, whichever direction, whichever wall you're facing, have that hand drawing towards it. Come back up into warrior two. Straighten your left leg and now extend and hinge at the waist as you bring your left hand down either on your shin, a block, or the floor. And bring your right arm up overhead so your shoulders are stacked. Breathe. Breathe and breathe. Come back up to warrior two. Step your right foot. This is right, yeah, right foot halfway up the mat. Your toes are pointing forward. Hip width distance apart. Grab your block if you've got one. And fold over your left leg now. The block is on the inside of your left leg. Breathe and fold. Unlock your knees. Breathe and just fold into it. Breathe and fold. Now place this block on its highest setting if you've got the block. Place your right fingertips on that block and draw your left arm up overhead for a twisting triangle on this side. See if you can stack your shoulders. Come up on your fingertips if you need to. It's not really how deep you're folding, it's how much you're able to stack your shoulders and twist. So we breathe in, we extend, we exhale, we twist deeper. And come out of this. Good. Breathe. And very, very good. Let's do some balance. So come to any place on your mat. Find a drishti point that you can gaze at. So something that's not moving in front of you. And breathe in and just take that drishti point in. Really gaze at it. It's a gaze that almost melts into that thing. Wrap your right leg around your left and come into chair leg. So your left knee is bent, your right leg is wrapped. Maybe your toes can get around your left shin, or maybe they are flexed on the outside of your left shin. Whatever that is, bring your hands to heart in prayer and breathe. Now wrap your right arm underneath your left. If you fall out, just come back into it. Breathe, draw your elbows up to shoulder height. Breathe and sink. One more breath in and sink. And come up, mountain pose. Look up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Find your sheet. Find your left leg over your right. Flex your toes. Your hands can be at heart and prayer to start. Breathe here. Now wrap your left arm underneath your right as you breathe and sink into this. And come back up to stand, mountain pose. Good. Let's bring your knee to hip height. Draw your right knee up so it's at hip height. Grab that knee with your right hand. Extend your left arm long out to the left and open your right knee to the right. So this is really just a raised leg, and challenge yourself. See if you can gaze out over at your left thumb. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just see if you can. If you fall out, come back into it. Place that right foot down. Good job. Let's do the same thing on the left. Bring your left knee up. Grab it with your left hand. Open it out to the left. Extend your right arm long to the right. And see if you can look over your right thumb. And bring that foot down too. Good. Because this is so much fun, we'll just keep going. Bring your right knee back up to hip height. So your right knee's bent, it's at hip height. And now kick back for airplane. So slowly, like you're going through molasses in January, just slowly bring your right foot up behind you. And as you do so, bring your arms behind you. And your pinkies are drawing towards one another, and you have a little up dog in your chest. Breathe here. Gaze. And see if you can raise your leg a little bit higher. And now bring it down to the mat. Let's do the same thing on the left side. Looking out, breathing. Draw your left knee up, hip height. And now slowly, slowly, slowly kick back. Your gaze is sinking to the floor in front of you. And breathe. And just slowly move into this. See if you can raise your leg a little higher behind you. And bring it to the mat. Good job. Take another drink. And one last balance pose. Let's go into tree. So tree can be stand, your foot at the shin, or your foot up into the thigh. So any of these, just make sure that your foot is really, your right foot is really strong against your left leg. And it's that pulling together that will help you in this balance. So it doesn't matter where your foot is, just get it strong and breathe and gaze and stand up tall. And bring that foot down. Maybe you've experienced this when you do your balance poses, that you're by engaging your abdominals, it really brings a lot of stability to these poses. So as we do tree on the other side, if you can think about that, it might just be another thing to contemplate as you're doing this. Come back into tree on your left. Any hand position is fine. And bring your left foot down to meet your right. So these balance poses are really, so I mean, really they're just all variations on this. So if you're finding balance to be challenging, just practice bringing one foot off the floor, bringing some bend into the standing leg, so you're not locking it out, you're not making it so that your bones are doing the work, you're asking your muscles to do the work. And you can challenge yourself, make sure you're doing that by bringing, and then coming up to a fuller stand. I'm talking a micro movement, like 2 inches down and 2 inches back up. So if you find balance challenging, just as you're standing at the sink, wherever you're standing, you are. If you're wearing shoes, shoes help. Shoes make balance easier. But again, if you're finding balance difficult, it doesn't matter. Get good at it in your shoes, and then you'll gradually work towards being able to do it with bare feet. Now, a friend of mine told me she had really good balance. She found it really helpful to place her tongue on the roof of her mouth. And I mean, I guess that would work for me. It's about drishti, it's about engaging my abdominal muscles, it's about breathing, it's about kind of not sweating it, just not getting kind of too worked up about it. Anyways, let's meet on our mat on a seat with our legs out in front of us. Breathe here, sit up tall, remove any flesh from your sit bones. Bring your arms up overhead, look at your thumbs, there you are, and fold over your legs. And in this fold, your knees don't have to be locked, they don't have to be perfectly straight. You're drawing your lower back towards those knees, or maybe towards your ankles, but you're not rounding your back. You're drawing your lower back forward. I can grasp the soles of my feet with my arms. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, it doesn't matter, but I can use that as leverage to bring that lower back forward. Flexing your toes, breathing here, and exhaling, fold deeper. In and fold deeper. Breathe in and fold deeper. Now, bring your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Your left leg is long, your right foot's on the side of the knee. We're going to go into Lord of the Fishes. So we sit up tall, draw your shoulder blades down your back, look straight ahead, and now bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Place your right hand on the mat behind you, right behind your right hip. Hips are square on the floor. My fingers are pointing towards the ceiling, left hand. I'm looking forward, I'm breathing, sitting up tall, and I'm slowly turning my head. So I'm going to start to look over my right shoulder. If your neck is wonky like mine is, go real slow and breathe into it. And come around, make your way back so that you're looking straight ahead and maybe doing a little counter stretch to the right side. Great. Both feet are long out in front of you. You're in that seated position. Bring your arms up overhead and fold again over your legs. Breathing in, drawing the lower back towards your knees. Breathe in and extend. Breathe in and extend. Come back up to a seated position. Now we're going to bring our left foot to the outside of our right knee. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, Lord of the Fishes. Right elbow on the outside of our left knee, left hand behind us, and just slowly start to make your way around. Inhale, on the exhale, just a little deeper. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Good. Come back around. Maybe do a counter stretch. Good deal. Now, place your right foot on the inside of your left knee. Place your left hand down behind you, just very similar to what we were doing before, but now your foot's on the inside of your knee, not on the outside. And lift your hips up and bring your right arm up overhead. I think this is called Wild Thing, and lower down. Good deal. Do the same thing. We're doing the same thing on the other side. Wild Thing on this side. Extend your right leg long. Bring your left foot on the inside of your right knee. Right hand is down behind you, and just bring your hips up and bring your left arm up overhead. It's almost like you're extending side angle position. Good, and bring your hips down. Good job. Come into your boat pose. So whatever it is, if that's your high boat, if you're grasping your thighs, good. If your forearms are down on the mat, good. And play with this. See if that gets you into a high boat, or actually if you go down on your forearms, you'll see it doesn't make it easier. So it's interesting to play with it. Anyways, go into low boat and look at your toes. Come up to high boat and low boat. Inhale to high, exhale to low. Inhale to high and exhale to low, and bring your knees to the mat. Good job. Just lay down on your mat. Try to place your lower back on your mat. Try to see what that feels like. See how it feels to have your lower back. I really have to push it down there because the natural curvature of my spine is not to have my low back on the mat. And graze your heels with your fingertips. Your arms are long and strong on the mat. Your toes are at, your big toe is at 12 o'clock. And just raise your hips up into a bridge pose. Like in chair pose, your knees and your thighs are drawing together, but they're not touching. Your feet are strong, your arms are strong. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out and lower down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Pop up again, right into bridge. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out and lower down. Grab a block and come into waterfall. Place this block right under your sacrum, and it's placed in such a way that your feet feel like they pop right up. This is a rejuvenating pose. It's bringing the blood back into your major organs. After the good work that you've done, we'll just be here for a moment. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. 2 more breaths in and out. In and out. And remove your block. And we're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring both of your knees into your chest and draw them to the left. So your hips are stacked, your arms are out in the T, you're looking over at your right thumb. Bring your knees back into your chest and swing them over to the right and look over your left thumb. Draw your knees back into your chest. Hug your knees in your chest into a little ball. Breathe in and out and extend into Shavasana. Flop your feet open, palms open to receive, and take a rest for the good work you just did. Bring some movement into your fingers and toes and roll onto your side, cradling your head with your arm in a fetal position. Take a couple rounds of breath here. And slowly make your way into a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. Sit up tall, bring your hands to heart in prayer. We'll end practice with the way we began, with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Om.
Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead. Look up. The light in me honors the light in you. We bow together and say namaste. Namaste.